I just talked about this new game just on Thursday on our live stream. We were talking about the sequel to Raji, an Ancient Epic, which was a top-down third-person combat um, game, combat like puzzle-solving type of game, which was made by a small indie team based in India, and it was a huge success across PC and all the console platforms, and on it even came to mobile and Switch too. It did really well across all platforms, and it eventually got recognized globally and won awards and everything. And now it's coming up with a sequel to Raji, which is called Raji Kaliyuga. We looked at the announcement trailer and we talked about it. The highlight of that was that it is now seemingly jumping genres, going from top-down platform type thing into a full-on third-person action adventure game, which is very exciting, very ambitious for the studio as well. So it's catching a lot of interesting and turning a lot of heads at the moment, which is fantastic. If it is successful, it might go on to be one of the most valuable IPs to come out of India in the gaming industry, which is fantastic. And IGN has put out this another video breaking down that announcement trailer and actually talking to the developers of Raji Kaliyuga, developers from Notting Head Games. That's where they're from. So I just wanted to check out that video. It's a 15-minute long video, so we'll try to stick to it and see how we go. But there might be some interesting information that we can uncover here, so let's have a look at it.
Hey guys, today we are at Nottingham Studio and I have the team with me who has made this beautiful trailer, Raji Kaliyuga. Yes, this is going to be a sequel to Raji, an Ancient Epic.
Hi guys, I'm Anirudh Singh. I'm the lead concept artist at Notting Heads Games.
Hi guys, I'm Shreyas Pai and I'm the lead artist at Notting Heads Games.
Hi guys, I'm Shruti Ghosh. I'm the co-founder, narrative and art director at Notting Heads Games.
Hello guys, I'm Ian. Art director, co-founder at Notting Heads Games.
Let's talk about a new game.
Feels like he could give a fuck.
Tell me, what was the vision and how did this world come?
Raji was always seen as not just a singular game, but the story also ended with where Mahabalasura opening the doors to heaven, and that kind of trickles to the next game, the sequel, Raji Kaliyuga, where the game is now set in 6 years down the line, where the world is in a whole new era where everything is in a post-apocalyptic condition, where everything is kind of like not how the nature should be. So because the doors to heaven wasn't supposed to be open at that time, and it's the whole story continues from there.
Raji looks awfully similar. Like she looks very, very cute. Is somebody in this room? Do you have something to share with us?
So yeah, when we were basically
I was thinking the same thing.
making the new model, and when kind of like we're conceptualizing the Raji's costume, and now that she's grown 6 years older, and how would she look, and being the only girl in the team, I guess I was like, it was okay to just natural thing to lend my face to.
Yeah, and I think we didn't want to like go hire a model or something, and we were like, okay, why not just use Shruti's face too, you know?
Yeah, and we wanted her to look, she's Indian and have that authenticity. So yeah, just use what we've got in-house.
Also, we are seeing a new character in play. Share something about that.
So yeah, that is basically Golu. He's now called Tarsh. And so we wanted this to be like the big reveal. So that's what you see in the teaser as well. So you can see the first reaction is, who is this guy? Who is, with Raji? and then eventually it's the game has taken a time jump, and the Golu that from the first game has now grown up, and there's so much mystery that is associated with this character now.
Are you gonna stick to the same art style, the isometric art style that you guys did with Raji and Ancient Epic, or is it going to be a completely different looking game?
So it's not an isometric game anymore. It is a third-person camera, but it's still an action-adventure game. It is still true to its genre where Raji came from. So it's just
There
the
you
point
go.
of view and the way you look at the world and the way you see the game is different, and it's opened up and it's bigger and better.
That you had
Yes.
taken music first of
Okay, confirmed. There you go. You heard it from the horse's mouth. It is confirmed that Raji's sequel is going to be a third-person action-adventure game. There you go. There you go. Confirmed.
approach with the game. You started with the music and built with the music. So is it going to be the same with this one?
Even in the storyboarding stage, everyone had an idea of what the music would be like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we shared that vision of what kind of music, and then it kept evolving over the period of time, and the Linus came in and the teaser went and to
lot
the
of Ian did a lot of directorial how he wanted it to begin with, and where he wanted that epic tone to come in. And because this whole reveal trailer was about revealing Darsh, everything was centered around to the point where you see Darsh coming, his hands coming. So the entire music needs to be also a build up to the point. And then it was like, when I was talking to Linus also, I said, I want that silence before you actually see his hands coming. So just give that few seconds of silence before you see Raji's eye open, and then you see the other character, because this is a big jump from what you see in Raji.
And what I would like to say is there was no AI harmed or involved in the making of this trailer. This was all done by human beings.
What was the
Good to clarify
favorite
that.
part for you in the trailer?
It's very hard to choose, but I think how you see Krodh when Raji opens her eye, that was like really epically done, because that is something, it was not then the storyboard, it was just all improvising how everyone gets their input into the teaser, and that's how things are. Yeah, so you can see Krodh's reflection and so the pupil dilation that is happening. I think that is pretty cool.
Just to add up to that, that wasn't really a decision that was made way back. It was just a spontaneous idea. I think Ian saw it and said, oh, it would be cool if we show the pupil dilating. And I said, probably nobody would notice that. But then he also came up with the idea of, it would be cool if we could see Krodh's reflection in her eyes when it opens, because it's just such an extreme close-up, right? And then with Paras's help, we did find a way to make it work. And when I myself saw it, I was like, okay, this does make a difference.
It's such an epic moment, because then you're seeing Raji growing up.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit.
We did that whole Om Namah Shivaya, or even her face, kind of the expressions.
Yeah.
The doors to the heaven are open now, and it was not supposed to. So that's gonna lead to something being Raji Kaliyuga. What does Kaliyuga mean?
So the whole idea, it's the time of darkness. It's the era of darkness where
got that from this trailer.
Everything is in a state where it's not supposed to be, whether it's humans or the gods or the asuras, and everything is not in balance. Kind of like reflects what today's time is.
Statues of Indian dancers. You tell us more about that.
Indian
It was
statues.
kind of the thought behind was like, when you actually see the statue come alive, they move like as if the puppets are being
Stop motion.
stop motion. That was what Ian wanted the animation to be like. When they move and the different poses of the dance that they do, they kind of like
Yeah, that was
look
cool.
like as if they're moving in.
It kind of reminded me of South of Midnight. if you know what that means.
kind of beat.
If you know that game.
So that's
The
whole
entire
point
game is
behind
like
the
a whole stop motion
There were
saga.
these,
Very cool.
I don't know if those are hyenas or monkeys. They had like a third eye. So can you tell me more about that creation?
They are one of the NPCs in the levels that you're going to play in the sequel in Kaliyuga. There's a whole universe behind this, a glimpse of that level that you get in the trailer. They worship Shiva, and it's one of the lokas that is set in the Patal Lok, one of the Patal Loks. The whole concept behind is, it has the whole idea of they are followers of Shiva, and then how they've come into being, and the whole attitude of them, how they react to everything, has idea behind it, what the Loka
I'm assuming
stands for.
Patal Lok
So
means
the
underworld.
reason for it is also there. So yeah.
There's a reason for everything. So therefore, when asked, we could give a comprehensive answer. And so every character has its own bio to it.
And also, it follows the same structure, or no, the same idea we had in the first game is about how we can teach people about either the culture or the mythology. So, if someone ends up asking, like you did, what is growth about? Where does he or it come from? Then we would be explaining, hey, there's these lower realms, there's the upper realms, there's Patal Lok. This is one of those seven realms, and you can also talk about Lord Shiva for especially the younger generation, which may or may not know about them. So that
That's
also
what I mean.
opens up an
It definitely
opportunity
means
for us
underworld.
to add these sort of little.
I'm so hyped for this
information
game
in the
after watching this trailer.
Even it's not just the Western or the global audience, but even in Indian audience.
I gotta
you
check
would
out
have
that
people- I
Patal
myself
Lok
have learned
Netflix
actually
show.
a lot of the things that I didn't know from Raji 1. So it is actually, I think, nice to
I
have.
didn't know
the
about
same
it until
sort
you
of
told me, bro.
aspects in Raji 2 as well.
Another fascinating thing that I saw was Raji having multiple friends. Is that a thing now?
Basically, this is something like when we were making, like especially in the storyboard stages, like you take some liberty with the scenes where you add a metaphor. Basically, the hands coming, we wanted to show Darsh, but the hands coming from the back of Raji just showed her being blessed by Durga.
Just to
You know those ruins and stuff that they got going on. It reminded me of Doctor Strange a little bit, like with the amber color runes. Or is it just me?
add to that,
It's cool though.
it kind of like teases you into how they both are also
Okay, I gotta
working
check that.
together.
I gotta check
how
that
the
out.
brother and sister are gonna
me
play
put
out
that in my
in the game.
list of things.
So it teases about both of them, their abilities of coming together.
Is this a standalone game?
Even if you haven't played Raji and Ancient Epic, you can come into the universe fresh because it takes you at
That's
the
important.
present time and takes you through the journey where what's happening in the present time in the universe, but also gives you a backstory, what happened, and slowly the characters are introduced as what's going on, what happened in the last 6 years, and so you kind of get an idea. But people
Okay, that is a very important point that they raised. I think it's very important that they've gone down the route of not requiring to play the first game in order to get to the second game, especially because they're doing a genre swap with the second game, with that being a completely third-person action adventure game with bigger, better, more ambitious game, and probably with a bigger budget now as well. So because this is a very different game, like they mentioned, asymmetric, top-down puzzle solving, that type of game, the chances are a lot more people would be tempted to try the second game for what it is. It's because it's probably going to be playing like more towards something in the same line of Black Myth Wukong, God of War type of thing. If it, I'm assuming it's not open world, so it'll probably play out like that. So people who like to play that kind of games will be very interested in playing this. So being able to go into the second game without having to understand what went on in the first one is a very good thing, and it lowers the barrier for people to actually try out that game. Very cool.
who have played Raji and Ancient Epic, for them it'll be a big nostalgia factor and a big thing that when they come back to the universe, it's a, oh, that was that about, and this is where. But also, if it's going to bring in new players who just start with Raji Kaliyuga and they will go back to Raji and Ancient Epics. So yeah, they can play it.
World also, right? It looks very fantastical, but then again, like you said, the realms do, you have taken inspirations from these realms and mythological creatures or places.
Yeah.
So can you tell us more about the world that is set in?
Raji Kaliyuga kind of like takes you into this realm, though being part of Earth is a bigger section, Bhurlok, where you will be playing the game. But this particular level is Vitla, is one of the realms, is the lower Patal Lok, the lower realm, and
cool.
the whole characters, the background, trees that you see them walking, or the ones that come out of the water, all of them are kind of inspiration from what this Loka represents, and all these characters have been imagined with that emotion that it represents and what that Loka stands for. And this whole realm represents greed. They say the essence of Shiva and Parvati flows through this, hence the golden water, which is you see in the trailer, and then you see some creatures coming out of that golden water, and they are born out of that water, and they have a backstory as well, which is all very
cool.
related to the universe. And the trees that you see in the back, they are very...
What is those creatures on that guy's jumper next to the girl speaking? What? What are you talking about? This one? You talking about this one? Is it this one? I don't know. They look like they might be something from the actual game. Yeah, they might be. It could be something from the actual game if he's wearing like something to do with the game. I'm not sure, or it could be just random stuff. Could be anything. You wouldn't mind that jumper.
Which is
cool
all
jumper.
very related to the universe.
I assume that it could be something to do with like one of these type of creatures that's present in the game or something.
And the trees that you see in the back, they are very living, breathing part of the forest, where the forest comes alive, and the trees are this. Those creatures reminds me of the flying monkeys from the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, I saw that. Raja Bera. Yeah, I saw that. Isn't Bera means like sun? Ritual beings of that Loka, yeah.
So our favorite Golu finally has some magical powers. Can you elaborate on it? What is he doing?
So Golu, that's what Raji calls.
Okay, before I move on. Okay, this whole thing with different underworld layers and all that. This is giving me like major Dante's Inferno. Do you remember that game? That was like this is probably a deep cut for people who haven't played games in like the last 15 years or so. But there was a game called Dante's Inferno that came out so long ago. It is essentially a game that's covering like, the 7 circles of hell or something in the mythology. I thought that was pretty cool. This giving me that like similar vibes as well, don't you think?
But his name is Darsh. It's the build up to where Darsh is right now, his involvement in the story of where his disappearance was and why was he taken, and the character that you play now as Darsh, what powers does he have, and he is a completely different individual, whether it's personality or the abilities that he has as a character is different from Raji. Raji is more of an individual that is blessed by the gods, where he has a human who has tasks to do because he is destined to do something. So his powers are more mystical and magical because he's.
It's so cool because at first I thought it's gonna be Darsh is gonna be a companion to Raji where you play as Raji, but it seems like this is the dual protagonist thing. They have actually confirmed that, which is very cool. I have seen a similar setup, like even in God of War, you got Kratos and you got Atreus who are supporting you, and there are some missions where you can play as him, but mostly you just play as Kratos. And then even in games like BioShock, where you got your main character and you got a companion that's helping you, and then if you even go back to Plague Tale, which is another probably a very similar type game like this, where you play as I forgot her name, but you play as the female character, and then you got her brother who you can utilize as in some gameplay mechanics, but you don't actually play as the brother. So whenever there's a companion involved, you don't really control the companion directly as a character, but it looks like in this one they're going for that dual protagonist swapping character type thing. I'm very interested to see how that plays out.
Blessed and born with those powers, and which he will be harnessing through the game, and he'll be used.
What I want to know is if you can swap characters at free will during like gameplay, or is it going to be controlled through story where like you play as Raji and then as the course of the story unfolds, then there are some missions there where you play as Darsh and then you switch back and forth based on the missions you play, rather than being able to character swap mid combat and mid gameplay. That would be interesting.
Using them, which are called siddhis, which are derived from Hinduism again. That's what you see, that he is the magical orbs that he's using.
Raji or Darsh.
Oh, that's like a fun.
You could all say like, oh, both are my creations, I love them. No, every parent has a favorite child.
My favorite child would be Clothes.
Mine's got to be Mahabhalasura.
Okay, for me it's very tough because I'm one of the few who know, like, who's read what Shruti has planned for Darsh and how crazy things are going to be. Raji is awesome, but I know the journey that is ahead, so yeah, maybe Darsh.
Actually, even for me, it's Darsh.
Okay,
Okay.
guys, so that was amazing. I love the trailer.
So it looks like they're going to make Darsh the main guy over the course of the franchise, which is cool. But I don't know in what way. Maybe they shouldn't have said anything about this. Now this get me thinking about, okay, what the hell is gonna be going on? But it seems like they're setting it up so that Darsh eventually becomes sort of a main character of some sort, or maybe not. I don't know.
But now I just wanna go and play the game. But
Maybe they
where
can do
they find
spin-offs.
a Steam page or a wishlist page.
Yeah, so we are launching on Game Pass day one along with PlayStation, Steam, and Epic Store. The game will be announced for Nintendo in the future.
Whoa, the game is launching on Game Pass on day one. Xbox secured this game for Game Pass. Okay.
And the game is already live on these stores where you can go ahead and wishlist, and we will be posting all our announcements through these platforms as well, especially Steam. So keep an eye out and let all your friends know.
Awesome, guys. Great talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
you.
All right. Well, that was a very informative video. I feel very excited now that I have, now that we know a little bit more information about the game and the direction that they have taken. Raji Kaliyuga has become one of those games that's gonna go on my list now for one of the most anticipated games of the year, next year. I really hope that that this does not disappoint. Raji, the first one did not disappoint. It was a fantastic game, but it's a very different game. And the fact that they're going all out, to a entirely new genre for the studio is a little bit concerning, but it looks like they know what they're doing. They have planned this all out, and they have a clear vision for the franchise, it looks like. So I'm just gonna keep my fingers crossed for these guys and see how they go, and really hope they nail it. And yeah, man, yeah, let me know what you guys think of this game, because definitely this is gonna come to Game Pass, so I'm probably gonna be playing on Game Pass if I haven't cancelled it by the time it comes out. I still, as of right now, I still have access to PC Game Pass, which is not that expensive just yet. This might be a hot take, but if they end up putting up the price again, I'm probably gonna cancel it because it's not worth it. Just gonna buy it on Steam. But yeah, I want to see the gameplay, because what we got from the trailer wasn't gameplay, it was just a hype cinematic trailer. I want to see the gameplay. I want to see how the dual protagonist control. I want to see how the world looks like and the core gameplay loop. Then we can decide. Yeah, exactly. We can make a verdict after we seeing the gameplay. So I hope they put out a trailer soon showing the actual gameplay, because then it'll all make sense as to how it all play. All right, now we just can speculate that it is going to be something similar to what we have seen in games like God of War or Plague Tale type of thing. Probably more similar to like Plague Tale or like Senua Saga, like I mentioned in the previous live stream. But yeah, but it is very interesting. It's a huge shift. It's a huge shift to for the franchise, and also for the studio, and it's hugely ambitious as well. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but I'm also remaining cautiously optimistic about the development of this game. And I will come back to this when we have more updates.